Welcome, Daniel
Hi.
Junge, director of They Killed Sister Dorothy. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
A septuagenarian nun is killed in Brazil. Why do we care?
When you learn more about this situation, you realize that there's huge, incredibly huge resonant issues behind this murder, which makes it even more poignant. I mean, we're talking about deforestation, we're talking about land tenureship in Latin America, poverty, the justice system, a little bit of freedom of religion. There's a lot of issues embroiled in this story, but at its heart, you do have the murder of a 73-year-old nun, which in and of itself is compelling.
In the Brazilian Amazon, a murder trial is underway. The victim was Sister Dorothy Stang, a 73-year-old American nun known to some as the Angel of the Amazon.
Everybody can, in a very democratic way, can share in these world's gifts.
Why was she shot 6 times and left to die on a muddy rainforest road? Just what happened on that day?
E ele diz: "Tu tens coragem de matar esta velha?"
E aí foi onde eu resolvi fazer isso aí. Matar ela.
Who exactly is behind the murder?
Tem organizações de grileiros, fazendeiros, que têm seus pistoleiros.
Will anything change because they killed Sister Dorothy?
I, like a lot of people, read about this story in the New York Times and thought, wow, that's a great movie. Not just a documentary, that's a movie.
Did you come to it with an immediate sense of what your viewpoint might be, or did you just think this has to be explored?
Yeah. How can you not see what's happening in Brazil and in the Amazon and in rainforests around the world and not feel partisan? I mean, the huge, important ecosystem is getting destroyed, and this is a woman that we knew who was fighting to maintain that ecosystem.
It's fascinating. These charges came out against her about what her past may include and about her being a rabble-rouser and a possible covert FBI operative and that sort of thing. Did you ever once think, maybe?
Let me first say, yes, there's some preposterous things said, spoken in the film, and in fact, they only have some credence in the film because of what Brazilians and other people in other countries believe right now about Americans because of our foreign policy, that some of this stuff sticks, that you do think there's meddlers and there's people who are up to no good, and so those things do hold some water, and also the people on the other side of this issue, mostly loggers and ranchers and politicians who support them and the lawyers, they can make a compelling case, and when you spend enough time with them, as we did, we spent as much time with them as we did with Dorothy's supporters, some of the things that they say make sense. But at the end of the day, when you spend just a moment with, say, Sister Becky, Dorothy's best friend, you're reminded of how pure and ultimately good Dorothy's intentions and her goals were.
She is there, she wants to save the rainforest, she wants to save people, and seemingly she's driven by this idea that it's almost a spiritual imperative to save the world. Do you agree?
I absolutely feel the cause that she was fighting for is just, but I also am disheartened to see what's happening in the Amazon and the fact that as lofty as Dorothy's ambitions are, at times I'm cynical about our ability to stop rainforest destruction down there. It's pretty incredible what's happening.
Well, it's only 10 square miles a day that we're losing, right?
Yeah, only 10 square miles a day. It's you know, between the loggers and the ranchers and now soy is a big monster down there. It's devouring, you know, the world's most important ecosystem, and it's sobering to spend time down there.
Were you an environmentalist going into this project? Was that a major cause or concern for you?
I am first and foremost a filmmaker and an opportunist, I hope that our films ultimately, you know, cause change, but I hope that's because they're good films. And I think that the imperative of a filmmaker working with social justice and environmental issues like we do is first and foremost to make a good film which speaks to a mass audience, because that's the only way to elicit change.
Bless you. Bless you. they've got to be good movies.
Yeah, and I think the kiss of death is when they say, you know, your film is so important. It's such an important film. You know, the first thing you wanted to say is, that was an amazing film, or wow, I laughed and I cried and now I'm angry, and what can I do? What can I do now, because this film got me so amped up? And you know, if you walk out of the film going, that was really important, that was that film needed to be made, by and large the audiences aren't going to see it.
That's like the high school girl saying she just wants to be friends. Is that the equivalent? Is that it?
You tell me.
Okay. It seems it.